Welcome to Budget Beauty, where I help you look flawless for less. Welcome back, and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen, and this is Budget Beauty. We do everything beauty on a budget, and that includes new makeup releases and mystery boxes. And I finally got my Adept Cosmetics mystery box. Now, Adept is an indie brand, which means independently owned. So not owned by a large corporation, but owned by a single person. It is one of my all-time favorite indie brands. I usually purchase everything they put out. And then of course, I picked up their mystery box. Now with a mystery box, it's always a gamble. You don't know what you're going to receive in the mystery box. You just hope for the best. You hope that you get your value out of the mystery box. So I'm going to share with you what came in my mystery box. We're going to do an eye look. Spoiler alert, there's an eyeshadow palette in the mystery box. And I'll share with you my final thoughts, whether or not I think it's worth the money. So if you're excited, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. I will link everything down below for you that I share with you in today's video. The mystery box is no longer available, but the products in the mystery box are available singly on the Adept website. So maybe you don't want everything in the box, just pieces of it. You can buy them all individually now. So I'll link everything down below, as well as a discount on your order. You'll also find my favorite beauty boxes, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today, and of course, come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. Before I zoom you in and we get started with today's eye look, I wanted to share with you what was in the Adept mystery box. So the mystery box was $135. And like I said, everything I'm going to share with you is now sold individually on the Adept Cosmetics website. So the first thing we received is the La Ciencia palette, and I was actually really excited to get this palette because it has a lot of mattes in it. It's actually pretty matte heavy. It's a 15 pan palette and 10 of the shades are mattes, and then you have 5 of the absolutely glorious Adept shimmers. I will go ahead and insert close-up swatches here on the screen for you. I love that this is a little bit more of a neutral palette, but they did pop in some berry tones, and I love the addition of the red matte and the shimmers. The shimmers are incredible. They are buttery. They are wet looking. They are foiled on the eyes, very similar to what Adept usually puts out in shimmers, but I just really like the addition of the extra mattes in this palette. Normally with Adept, we either get full shimmer or special shade palettes, or maybe 1 or 2 mattes, and this just allows for a lot of versatility. And this is one of the only neutral palettes that Adept has, other than their Minka palette, which I don't own Minka. I don't know if it's still available, but I was not disappointed to receive this palette. I think the color story is beautiful, and I can't wait to put it on my eyes. The palette does have a mirror. It is very heavy and very weighted. It's also a different shape for Adept. It's a little bit bigger palette, which I appreciate. And then in the mystery box, we actually received 8 multi-chrome liners. Now, a lot of people were disappointed that we got 8 different liners, because who really needs 8 multi-chrome liners? But after swatching these are beautiful. There are some beautiful colored multi-chrome liners. These are gorgeous in the waterline, gorgeous on the lower lash line, and they included a black, which I really appreciate. We are going to use the black today. We're going to use 1 or more of the multi-chrome liners. I have always wanted to add multi-chrome liners to my collection, and so this was not a disappointment for me. I'm actually really excited to have these, and I see myself using these a lot. They swatch beautifully. You can see the shift. Really excited to have these. And again, these are sold now individually. So if there's a color that you really like, you can pick up that one color. And then the palette is sold individually on the Adept website as well. So let me zoom you in and let's get started with today's look. So the first thing I'm going to do, as always, is prime my eyes with my MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I love using an eyeshadow primer. For me, I feel like it helps the longevity of the shadows, and it also keeps the shimmers from creasing. And Adept is that really foiled, wet shimmer, so they are a little bit more prone to creasing. I don't find that they crease on me, but I love just putting a base down just to make sure. I'm also heading out the door here after I film this video to do a 5K with my boot camp group. So I need my makeup to last through the 5K and for the rest of the day. So now it's deciding what I want to do. Do I want to do a more neutral look? Do I want to pull in some of these berry tones, these pink tones? Do I want to use this beautiful kind of red matte? Also, I love that there's a black matte for deepening up that outer crease. And then even harder, we have to decide on our shimmers. So I think I'm going to do a little bit more berry toned look because neutral looks are neutral looks. Now I swatched these, the matte swatched beautifully, but I think I want to bring in a little bit of berry tone. So, and I definitely want to use this red matte. Reds can be a little bit hard to formulate. They can make you look a little bit sickly. So I want to try this out and see how it is. So let's go ahead and start with the shade Inglewood, which is this really pretty kind of pinky taupe shade. We're going to use that as the transition. I'm going to pick that up on a fluffy brush. And like I said, that's going to be my transition shade, setting that eye primer. This shade is very close to my skin tone, which is fine. We're utilizing it as a transition, so that's okay if it's pretty close to my skin tone. It's applying really nicely, it's blending out, and again, it's just kind of setting that eyeshadow primer. If you have a deeper skin tone, I think this shade would be really beautiful on a deeper skin tone. You would see it a lot better than you can see it on me. I mean, I get a little bit of the kind of mauvey, purpley undertone of this shade, and again, it's perfect as a transition. Then I'm going to go into this shade, the 105 Freeway, which is this kind of pretty pink shade, and I'm going to add that to my crease to add a little bit of depth. Ooh, that's beautiful. It's funny because it looks pretty pink in the pan, but then once applying it to the eyes, it definitely has a little bit more of a purple undertone, which I'm not mad about because so did that crease shade. They both have that little bit of purple undertone. Okay, that's really pretty. And that layered and blended perfection. I just like to buff that in with that kind of that windshield wiper motion just to really get it in the crease and add that depth. That's a beautiful shade, and I mean, it layered so nicely on top of the crease shade. And like I said, I want to try out this red matte called Lennox. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I love a good pinky red matte, but like I said, it can make you look a little bit sickly if you don't do it right. So I'm really going to take that and just focus that in the outer corner, and then pulling it about a third of the way into my crease. I also want to use the black matte to really deepen up that outer corner. And when adding this in, you can see that it's definitely more of a kind of magenta matte than a red matte, which I love. This is a beautiful color. I have a lot of red mattes in my collection. I don't have a lot of this deeper magenta matte, so I am super excited about this one. Now it definitely looks a lot more red in the palette than it does on the eyes, but like I said, I'm not mad about it at all because it's beautiful and it's pairing really nicely with this kind of pinky purple in my crease. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite matte colors in my entire collection. I'm going to flip that same brush over and go into the black shade called El Segundo, and I'm going to just pick a little bit of that up and tap that in the outer corner just for a little bit of depth. I really like to deepen up my outer corner. For me, I feel like it adds a nice shape to my eyes and just gives the eye look a little bit more depth and pizzazz. Again, that layered beautifully. That was one dip into the pan. It is a nice, rich black color, no patchiness. I'm loving this so far. Taking that same fluffy brush that I used for the crease, not adding any more shadow, we're gonna blend. And I'm just going to give it one final blend. As always, I'm going to use my NYX glitter glue, apply a little bit of that to my lid before applying shimmer. Again, I need this eyeshadow to last all day. I need it to last through a 5K, and I also need it to last through the rest of the day. I do have some coaching calls. I am a weight loss and nutrition coach, so I have some client calls today, so I want this to last. And using a glitter base like NYX just works really well. Again, prevents creasing, keeps the shadow in place. Speaking of shadow, this is such a hard decision. I love all of these shimmer shades in the bottom. We have some multi-chrome, duochrome, beautiful, beautiful shades. I want to utilize a few of them in today's look so that we can test out some of the different formulas. As always, I'm going to apply one of the shimmer shades with my finger, one of them with a brush, so we can see how they apply with both methods. I'm going to start with this pinky, shifty duochrome shade called Santa Monica Boulevard. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. Literal foil. And I'm going to apply that on the outer, about 2/3 of my lid. Oh, like it makes my heart skip a beat. It's so beautiful. It is just foiled goodness, and it looks so beautiful and wet on the eye. This was a perfect choice because it has the purple base. It has a little bit of that pink to it. So it's perfect with the mattes that I chose. And then using a brush, I'm going to pick up Manhattan Beach, which is one of the multi-chromes in the palette. Oh, it's so wet and foiled. It looks like it's picking up nicely on a brush, and I'm going to apply that on the inner portion of my eye. This is so beautiful too. Can you see that? It's a little bit more goldy, orangey, but again, it's beautiful with this pinky and purple eye look. Like I said, these are really, really wet shimmers, so if you push your finger into it, it will indent the pan. So just be extra careful picking it up with a brush and with your finger, actually, not to do damage to the shadow. The Adept shimmers are usually very beautiful and very foiled. I added a little bit of pizzazz to my look and really added that shimmery foiled look to the inner portion of my lid. Both the shimmers picked up perfectly on a finger or a brush, which is what I like to see. For my lower lash line, I'm going to use one of the multi-chrome liners. This is in the shade Biometric Gel, and this is the pinky purple multi-chrome liner. And I'm just going to use that and fill in my lower lash line. This is really pretty. It actually has a little bit of a blue shift to it. It would pair really pretty with that blue shimmer shade in the palette. And then it shifts from blue to pink to purple. My opinion, this was the perfect lower lash line shade. These have a really kind of thin brush. I don't know if you can see that, but they apply it really, really easily with that brush. That is so pretty, and it added the pop of like a teal, green, blue to the look. I am loving this. I also want to use the black liner as my black liquid liner for my look. I'm going to use the black one, line my lid, and draw in my wing. I will say that these go on very nicely. There's no skipping or pulling. They're very, very easy to use. Easy to draw a wing. I really like these liners. I am loving this look. I love how shifty and beautiful the shadows are. And let me just tell you, these are a very pleasant surprise as a lower lash line. You could also put these in the waterline. You could use them as your actual liner to add some color and some shift. I'm actually not mad that we got them in the mystery box. So let me go ahead and apply some mascara. I just have a Lunar Beauty lip oil on today. We're going to keep it pretty simple since we have a dramatic eye look, and then I'll be back to share with you my final thoughts on the products that came in the Adept mystery box. So I'm partially ready for the day. It is kind of a Valentine's Day themed run. So I have this cute little scarf that I found at the Dollar Tree and these fun little heart earrings off of Amazon. I'm going to wear my pink boot camp tank top, a jacket, because it's going to be a little bit cold this morning. I do live in Arizona, but it's cold in the morning, and I'm sure we'll warm up during the 5K, so I can strip down layers. But this eye look is absolute perfection. It's perfect for what I was looking for today. My boot camp tank top is pink, so it's going to pair perfectly with the entire look. Like I said, I'm just doing a simple lip oil from Lunar Beauty. I love a good lip oil just to add a little bit of shine to the lips. But let's go over my thoughts on the Adept mystery box. First, let's talk about the eyeshadow palette. I love this. I really love that we have 10 mattes in this palette. Again, we don't always get a lot of mattes with Adept, and their mattes are really, really good. You saw how easy they were to apply, layer, build up. I got that depth I wanted in the outer corner, and the shimmers. I mean, the shimmers are out of this world. Man, I really wanted to use this purpley blue one. We'll have to do that next time. I think that would be really pretty with an all neutral matte look, and then popping just that pretty blue multi-chrome shimmery shade on the lid. So I'm excited to play with this palette even more. I love it. I love that it's a neutral palette. It's an everyday palette. You can glam it up for nighttime using some of those fun shimmer shades. I really love this. I definitely think this is worth the money. And again, it is sold separately on the Adept website. And then as far as the liners, again, I'm pleasantly surprised. I think my lower lash line looks fantastic, and it was so easy to get that shifty multi-chrome look using a liner rather than several shadows. And you know I love a good shimmery lower lash line, so this speaks right to me. It applied really easily. It's not patchy at all. It looks seamless. Like I said, it would be beautiful in the waterline, beautiful as a liner of your lid. These are fantastic, and I'm really happy to have these in my collection. I did look on the Adept website, and these retail for about $17 a piece. And again, we got 7 of them in the mystery box. So for $135, I think it was worth it if you are excited to have the liners. If the liners aren't your thing and all you're excited about is a palette, it's definitely not worth it. You're much better off buying them individually, which is great that we're able to do that now on Adept. But for me, it's a big bang for my buck because I love the liners. I've wanted, like I said, multi-chrome liners for so long that I'm really happy to have these, and they perform beautifully. So for me, the box was definitely worth it. I'm happy that I picked it up. So I will link all of this down below for you. I'll link the liners and the palette. And again, you can shop around with a discount code. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of my look? And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. And also down in the description box, you'll find my favorite beauty subscriptions, all of the other makeup that I'm wearing today, including my lip oil if you're interested, from Lunar Beauty, which is another indie brand that I love. And of course, come follow me on TikTok for a little bit more beauty on a budget. I would say the Adept mystery box to me is a huge win.